Not sure where to place your speakers to get the best sound? This video will give you 3 steps to finding the perfect mix position for any room. For more tips on setting up your home studio, download our free home studio setup guide in the video description. You'll learn how to set up your speakers to work with your room to provide the most accurate sound possible for your listening space. If you're a music producer or you work with sound in any way, you'll benefit from this process for dialing in a revealing mix position setup. So subscribe to help us get to that 100,000 subscriber milestone, and let's get started. Determine where to place the speakers in your room. There are a lot of hard and fast rules when it comes to placing speakers in a room. In this step, you'll determine the best sounding location with your ears, one speaker, and your empty room. The room in this demonstration is 12 feet 6 inches in length, 9 feet 9 inches wide with a height of 7 feet 9 inches. Determine the distance you plan to sit from your speakers. For this room, that's likely around 1 meter or approximately 3 feet. Tie a string around one of your speakers approximately 3 feet in length. Then have a friend hold the speaker as you slowly walk in a circle around the room. You're listening for where the music really sounds the fullest, where the room connects with the bass and the whole mix sounds closer at the same distance. There were a couple places in this room that sounded pretty great, and for this demonstration, the speakers were placed close to the center of the room. Of course, this room could benefit from some acoustic treatment, like the panels that I constructed in this acoustic panel project. These will be great for treating the walls of your space. And in this room's future, I think a heavy curtain draped across the double glass door will help to minimize any reflections from this side of the room and allow us to flip this setup 180 degrees to utilize the full length of the room. Now, there's one similarity in these two setups. The speakers are placed away from the wall, 3 feet from the sides, and in our ideal setup, 3 feet from the rear wall as well. Placing speakers too close to the wall or a corner often means a buildup of reflections reaching your ears slightly after the direct sound, which can greatly decrease the clarity of the sound and therefore your ability to mix accurately. Later on, you can further decrease these reflections with some acoustic rock wool panels. Up next, number 2, find the right height, angle, and toe in for your speakers. So 2 big mistakes here when it comes to placing speakers. 1, not decoupling the speakers from your desk, and 2, not positioning the speakers at ear height. Now, both these problems can be solved with a quality pair of speaker stands. Today I'm using stands provided by Ion Forged. These are solid aluminum pieces that are built to last and powder coated to a stylish matte black finish. The dampening pads and feet help to couple the speakers from your desk, and this will help minimize the transfer of vibration from your desk to improve bass response and stereo imaging. And they come in your color of choice, link in the description. So first, don't aim your speakers at your armpits, aim them at your ears. Always make sure your speakers sit at ear level, and that's easy to adjust with the Ion Forge AKER model speaker stands. It's super easy to dial in the right angle for your mix position with adjustable tilt and height, and the height level indicator gives you confidence that your speaker position is matched on both sides. If your speakers have a woofer and a tweeter, it's recommended to set them so that the midway point is level with your ears. Then the tilt position can be adjusted with the AKER speaker stands to correct the bias between the woofer and the tweeter. If your tweeters sound too aggressive, you can tilt your speakers back to emphasize the woofer. If your speakers sound too muffled, on the other hand, do the opposite and tilt your speakers forward. Next, you'll want to set the toe in of your speakers. Now, this is one of those hard and fast rules that I mentioned earlier. You want to angle your 2 speakers to form an equilateral triangle with your head as the third point of the triangle, so each speaker points directly into the corresponding ear when sitting in the mix position. However, the angle that you end up using may change after step 3. So for number 3, we're going to find the right distance between your speakers. That's right. Once you've found the best location for your speakers in the room, it's worth it to determine how far apart they need to be to present a strong and consistent image no matter where a sound is panned in the stereo field. If your speakers are too far apart, you lose your ability to balance, and this is because the distance between your speakers affects many things in the mix. In the book, Mixing with Your Mind, this effect is explained as a ribbon. When the speakers are too close, the ribbon bulges and the energy in the center of the image is built up, and sounds panned to the center will appear louder than they actually are. The inverse happens when speakers are too far apart. The ribbon is stretched out, everything panned to the sides sounds wide and present, while everything panned to the center lacks the same solidarity. For mixing, this can lead you to overcompensate and push the center channel instruments further than needed, destroying your ideal balance. So before you think about buying a new set of speakers, try this. First, clear off your desk and start with your speakers in the current equilateral position. Next, pick a song that you know well, because you're going to need to listen for the balance of center elements and what would be on the sides. You want something full frequency with sustained textures, and bounce it as a mono track. Mono will have less gaps than a stereo mix, so it's better for detecting gaps in the ribbon. Finally, send your mono mix through your speakers and slowly adjust the spacing of the speakers. Too close together and your center will be too hot. Too far apart and your center image will fall apart, leaving you to boost excessively to compensate. You can mark out a few good positions on your desk and eliminate any extreme zones to zero in on the perfect distance. And if there's any room left on your desk for headphones, check out the Hone headphone stand from Ion Forge. Made with the same powder-coated aluminum with cable management pins on the back to wrap any excess cable. The AKER speaker stands also have a removable cable loop that is fantastic for cable management, very useful for cutting down on the number of wires to trip over in your studio. Transform your audio setup to the next level with Ion Forge. Links to these stands is in the description. And while you're down there, remember to grab your free home studio setup guide. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to see more content. Thank you for watching and happy mixing.